Wife cheated after 15 years of marriage, blamed me for her actions, then plotted to have me killed to inherit my business. I am new on Reddit and I have never posted something like this. I have been feeling very depressed lately. I do not know what I am supposed to do. I guess I am here hoping that I will find what I seek, maybe a pep talk or some comfort. I am not sure what would be the most useful here. I have been married for 15 years. I married young. I was just out of college, so both I and my wife were in our early 20s when we got hitched. We loved each other. We have 2 beautiful daughters, 14, and we were a happy family. Yes, we had issues, but which marriage doesn't? There were small arguments here and there, but we always talked it out. The biggest argument that we ever had was my wife's lack of wanting to be physical with me. I tried everything. I thought maybe I was fat and I needed to lose weight. So I got fit. I thought maybe my dressing sense needed a change, and I did, but even then, it didn't work. No matter what I did, no matter how much I kissed and told her how beautiful she was and how much I desired her, she never desired me. It was almost like I was just a roommate for her, and that made me feel so emasculated. I confided in her brother, who comforted me, telling me that everything would be okay if I just gave her some more time. And I did. I waited and I gave her space. I tried to be understanding. I did whatever I could to make her feel comfortable, but it just was not enough. So, I thought maybe after 15 years of marriage, she needed a little rekindling of the relationship, some romance. So I booked tickets for a 2-week getaway at a romantic couples spot that she has always loved, and I got a bouquet and decided to drive home a little earlier that day from my business. I entered the house and I heard noises. Noises that I wish I was the one causing. My heart was thundering against my chest as I made my way to the bedroom, and my heart stopped when I saw it. She was with someone in my bed. In our bed. I stared at her while she was way too into whatever she was doing. It made me feel so small and so unimportant. I wanted to cry, to scream, to beat the guy up, because there is no way she would do that to me. It must have been because of that guy, right? The guy eventually noticed me and pushed her off of him. They both looked at me, shocked, surprised, and distraught. I didn't know how I did it, but I just moved away from the door and told him to leave. The guy, clearly younger than us, quickly picked up all the clothes that were strewn about and left. She started crying, saying how she was sorry, how she just never felt attractive, how I failed at making her feel attractive, and that's why she went into the arms of that guy. When I stayed silent, she started saying how he forced himself on her, how it was he who seduced her, because there is no way she would do something like that. I could not muster up any words and instead chose to leave the house. I ignored her cries and simply stepped out of our home, which no longer felt mine. I went over to her brother's house and told him what had happened. He was incredibly disappointed and allowed me to stay over for as long as I needed while he called up his parents to take the kids to their homes. The next few days were a blur. I tried to be as cohesive and as productive as possible, but I definitely couldn't feel okay anymore. Tired of everything, I decided to drown myself in work. As I own a small business, it has been difficult lately, but drowning myself in the plans and designs and everything that I wasn't able to focus on really took my mind off of that betrayal. Her brother came in the clutch because he was the friend I needed. He made sure that we did not get in contact. He even went as far as to close the door in her face when she showed up at his house, asking to meet with me. Knowing somebody was there to take care of my well-being made me feel appreciated. I wanted to move forward with the divorce, but that also meant that I would have to speak with a lawyer and recount every detail of what had happened, and honestly, I wasn't ready for it. I just needed to be a bit more stable. That's when things looked up for me. I ended up getting an opportunity to work with a far bigger company, allowing me to get a fair share of profits which would turn my life around. When I told this to her brother, he was incredibly happy for me. I cried because finally, things were slowly becoming better. I felt a little ready, so I decided to ask her brother about her. That is when her brother informed me about everything that has been happening to her. It turns out, her affair partner's wife humiliated her at her work because her AP was a work colleague and their father has stopped talking with her. Their mother, however, is keeping her in the loop of everything while our 2 daughters are ignoring her entire existence. It hurt to hear her struggle, but somewhere, all my love for her had turned into hate. I thanked him for letting me know about everything. I decided to go back to our house because before I proceeded with the divorce, I wanted to take all of my belongings from there. When I walked inside, it felt so cathartic. I could still see myself going to the bedroom and seeing her ride him. It broke my heart, but I needed to get some closure. I opened the trash bag I had brought with me and started taking all the things that meant a lot to me. I was in our bedroom, my back towards the door as I was going through our wedding photo album, when a hard punch floored me. I could barely understand what was happening while this guy in a ski mask kept beating down on me. I tried to fight back and I landed a few punches. Luckily, my fist connected with his throat, making him falter and back away. That is when I turned everything on him and rained hell on him. All of the rages that I had filled in me, I took it out on the guy. When I was sure the guy had passed out, I pulled off the ski mask and what do you know, it was the AP. I was so confused and shocked, I didn't know what else to do and called the police. I told them that I got attacked in my house and I fought back in self-defense and the perpetrator was the AP. The police came and took him away and told me to drop by after I get some medical help from the EMT. I have no idea why or what caused him to attack me and I am typing this out while I'm on my way to the police station. I feel so lost. Update 1, so far, I found out that my wife was cheating on me with her colleague and after going no contact with her, I went back to our house to get my things where her AP attacked me. I fought back and called the police on him. I finally came back from the police station and I have some news. Before I reached the police station, I called up my lawyer to drop by because I needed as much as possible. I gave him a quick rundown of the events before I got called to be spoken with. I took my lawyer with me and the police brought up some very interesting things. Turns out that my wife specifically told her AP that he needs to attack me. The preferred way would be if I got severely injured or better, murdered. The poor guy with his swollen face looked at me and told me, genuinely, that he doesn't know why she told him to do that. He just went along with it, hoping to simply hurt me and let it go instead of going for the kill. I do not quite believe him, but that's not the issue. The police asked me if I knew where my wife was and I told them everything. Once I was done, they took the number of her family, thanked me, and told me that they would put AP in jail for now and this case will move to court. I still can't believe it. Why? Why would the mother of my children, the lady I have loved for so long, want me dead? Was cheating on me not enough? I do not know how to deal with everything. So, for tonight I am thinking of staying at a hotel because I just want to be alone. Update 2, I have been staying at the hotel for 4 days now. My phone has been ringing constantly with calls, texts, and whatnot from her mother, her brother, and the rest of my family. I do not have it in me to speak with them. I have been focusing more on work, hoping that I would feel better. I feel like a workaholic, but closing in important deals to ensure that my business flourishes make me feel worthy of something good. I have received a call from my lawyer and he has informed me that I would have to go to court soon. It seems like her lawyer won't be able to help her even if they tried because, from the AP's phone, they have collected some incriminating evidence. I should be happy, but I am not. I still don't know why she wanted me to die and I have not been able to think about anything other than that. Either way, thank you for all of your words of kindness, here as well as in DMs. I appreciate it. Update 3, I know I have been away for a month and I have received several messages asking for an update, so here it is. I went to the court for the hearing and it was strange seeing her face after so long. She looked the same but different, I can't explain it. Seeing her face made me feel nauseous. As I stared at her, I kept wondering why I even loved her. What was it that I saw in her that ever made me think that she was the one for me? As the hearing went on, I learned of her affair in graphic detail. She had been cheating on me for 6 months before she was caught. She did this because AP made her feel attractive and sexy while I did not. She knew she was to find me attractive, but that attraction faded over the years and she just never had it in her to inform me that she was falling out of love. She was happy with the comfortable life I was providing her with my financial backing. So when she got caught and I went no contact with her, she was desperate to figure out what she could do to make it right. When she realized that I was not going to budge, she wanted to start making a different plan. She planned to get the AP to hurt me badly so that I would be on bed rest. She would take care of me and eventually I would fall back in love with her. That way, it would work out. But that was before she learned from her mother about the new merger of my business. So a part of her considered that if I was dead she would be the one in charge of the business. The AP liked the idea quite a bit and did not inform her that he would be going along with that. As I heard her explain all of this through her tears, I felt so nauseous. How could I have ever loved a monster like that? She was so sweet to me, she was so amazing with me when we were young, how could she do this to me? As I wondered about all of those, she kept looking at me, begging me to forgive her. Her lawyer pleaded insanity, which made the judge give her 7 years in jail for attempted murder with the AP who got charged with assault. She started crying with such wails of pain I don't think I would ever be able to forget those. Her father had left the court hearing a long time ago when she started discussing her affair. Her brother screamed at her while she was being taken away and her mother just kept insisting that everything will be okay, which caused her brother to scream at her as well. I sat at that court bench, wondering when my picture-perfect life ended up with such a huge crack and how come I never noticed it. My urge to end it all was quite heavy and I hated that I felt that way. I was overworking myself in the hopes that everything would fade away, but the more I ran, the closer these issues got to me. Upon speaking with her brother and father who had become my own family over the past 15 years, I decided to sign the divorce papers and send them to her. They had been apologizing to me profusely, especially her father because he blamed himself for not raising her right, which broke my heart. I tried consoling him as much as I could. The pressure and the shock of the whole court hearing got me feeling quite a bit uneasy in my head, so I decided to visit a psychiatrist. Not only that, but I also decided to go and get some counseling because my thoughts were getting precedence over me and this was not what I wanted. I have been a little stable over the past week owing to the medication and therapy, so I figured I would let you all know about everything that has been happening. I am going to meet with my daughters next week and we are moving in at a new place with just the 3 of us, so that is something I am looking forward to. Oh, and that merger with the big company went through and now my business is doing so much better. Thank you for staying and being so kind to me. Opinion 1, wow. Just wow. This was such a difficult thing to read through. I cannot imagine the pain you are going through. Your wife sounds extremely emotionally abusive and manipulative. What she has done with you is unforgivable, and the fact that she even considered killing you for just some sick logic is effed up. I am glad to hear that you are doing better with some therapy, and I am happy that you are finally out of such a toxic situation. Opinion 2, what the heck is wrong with your wife? Like, what is wrong with her? I hate that she got away with everything just by pleading insanity. She indeed is insane and nobody is safe around her. She needs to be locked up for longer than 7 years, and I hope she never gets to meet you or your kids. Also, why is your mother-in-law such a snitch? She actively informed your wife about your whereabouts, almost costing your life. Does she not get that? That whole family seems questionable except the dad and the bro. The bro is a homie for sure. So today was my day off during the week, which I like to use for cleaning the house, running errands, and relaxing in the evening. So my wife and I were running errands with our 2 kids, 2-year-old and 3 months, and everything was going fine. We got groceries, washed the car, and made a stop at a store about 20 to 30 minutes away from home. It's getting close to the time we have dinner, so we start heading home. As we're going home, my wife says we need to stop by a department store so she can pick up something she ordered that they shipped to the store. That's fine, the store is on the way home about 15 minutes from our house. My wife assures me it'll only be like 10 minutes. That's cool. As we're driving to the store, the older child falls asleep because they didn't get their nap, so I tell her to run in and I'll stay in the car with the kids. She goes in, 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by. No problem. Maybe there's a line. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, she's still gone. I call her to see if she's okay, no answer. I call her again at 50 minutes and she says she hasn't picked the thing up because she saw something she wanted to try on, so she's been doing that. I ask her to finish up so we can go home because our kid is tired and needs dinner and bed. I wait. Still nothing. After an hour I call again and she says she's gonna be a while, her mom showed up and they're trying stuff on. I tell her to please hurry, the car has been running, gas is expensive, and our kids are starting to wake up. Again she says she's almost done. During this time both of our kids wake up and start screaming/crying. I get the older one calmed down, but the younger is hungry and my breasts don't work that way, so I can't feed him. It's been 1.5 hours. I call her and tell her I'm leaving with the kids because they're starving and tired. She can get a ride home with her mom who lives near us. She huffs and says she's coming, so I wait another 10 minutes and she's still not there, so I leave. As I'm driving I get angry calls from her and mother-in-law about how could I abandon my wife at the store like that? My mother-in-law says I was an a-hole and way out of line. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Opinion 1, why would you sit for that long waiting for someone? How exactly do you let yourself get this controlled in a relationship? Why do you let your wife treat you like this, and let your mother-in-law talk to you like that? I can't believe how selfish your wife is, and how accepting you are of it. Instead of asking if you're the a-hole, why didn't you ask her why she thought her behavior was acceptable, and demand to know why she would ever think you were okay with her treatment of you, and your children? Is this how you want your children to be raised, either to be walked over by people like your mother-in-law and wife, or for them to treat people like your mother-in-law and wife? Not the a-hole for leaving, you are the a-hole for teaching, letting your wife treat you and your children like you don't matter at all. Opinion 2, not the a-hole. I dunno what was going through your wife's mind thinking she can just leave you and the kids in the car. Then I saw something I like. And my mom showed up. We're shopping now. Sounds like she was just taking advantage of you for having the kids in the car. If she knew she was gonna take longer, she should have just texted you saying to just go home and she catch an Uber. Imagine how she'd act if you did that to her. Your wife is definitely the a-hole here. Oh, and your mother-in-law, too. It's bad enough their selfish actions were disrespectful to you, but inconsiderate to her very young children. It's not like they were 11 to 12 years old. A toddler and an infant. Opinion 3, not the a-hole. There is no possible way you are the a-hole in this situation. Your wife had a viable alternative way of getting home. You waited a long time for her. You were extremely patient, ridiculously patient. Your wife was not only inconsiderate and rude, she allowed her 3-month-old boyfriend's baby to go hungry because she didn't want to be inconvenienced. It is so unbearable as a parent to sit in the car with your hungry baby screaming and your toddler screaming, but to have to deal with that because your spouse is behaving incredibly selfishly? That is beyond the pale. Clearly, she called her mom while you were there in the parking lot. It's too convenient that her mom just showed up out of the blue.